or an African tribal king from Uganda is publicized circumcision. Heard of circumcision, right? Yes. So public circumcision. He's inviting people from all over the world. You can come to Uganda and get circumcised. The circumcision is supposed to be public. So it's not intimate, not in a bedroom or in a room. It's in public while everybody's watching, everybody's applauding, screaming. And the goal of the circumcision is to transit man from childhood or boyhood to manhood. So you may be a strong, grown person without necessarily be a man in this specific tribe. So they've made it public. It's not limited to them anymore. If you want to be a man, you want to be circumcised, you can go to Uganda and go get circumcised. So the goal here is what? When they circumcise you publicly with a knife, don't flinch. You don't move. You don't shake your hand. You don't tremble. That's what shows courage and manhood, and also preserves the honor of your family. And people are applauded and praised and gifted present after doing the circumcision without flinching one bit. Let's watch this.
To get fully fermented into brew, it takes 3 days. So it starts today. He's going to dance today, tomorrow. And then after tomorrow, the 3rd day. So on the 3rd day, when it's full brew, he will be circumcised.
Wow. Look at that. This is tradition, fellas. This is tradition for many African countries. And I know many of you have never heard of this. Many Africans here have never heard of circumcision. Many Africans here are not circumcised. I'm just saying. So let's watch this. It's very interesting. And this is not limited to one area of Africa. In many places in Africa, you'll see people that go through this process of transit from boyhood to manhood. You have to go through circumcision and be gifted the knowledge specifically to that specific tribe.
So I'm 100% sure that the boy will make it, my son.
Wow. Look at that. Look how people are happy. Very interesting. You can also see the nervousness. People are nervous as much as they're happy. It takes a lot of courage to do this. You must be brave. This is not for sissies. Wow. So obviously we're not going to show you everything because we're going to get censored. But what happens is literally they're going to, remove the full, you know what I mean? That they're going to remove that skin. Very viciously, and they're going to be blood going left, right, center. And the goal is to keep it together, maintain it. And for you as the person being circumcised, you are not to flinch. You don't move, you don't shake, you don't speak, you stay firm. That's how you prove your manhood. What do you think about this? Now, this is very interesting because we're looking at the Bakusu tribe. Bakusu tribes, you see them in Kenya and Uganda. So Western Kenya, East Uganda, which are very similar area. So the bottom line is in many African nations, you will see many tribes passing through different countries. Okay? Kenya and Uganda, you will see these people like Botswana in South Africa. There are Botswana in Botswana. Here's a map. And Botswana or Tswana speaking people in South Africa. Now, these people existed before South Africa was South Africa. And Botswana was Botswana as a country. Because remember, white people created countries. Countries never existed in the past. Yeah, surely your kingdom existed. Okay, there were many kingdoms, Rwanda kingdom, Zulu kingdom, whatever kingdom, Igbo kingdom, Ashanti kingdom, but there was no such thing as Ghana as Ghana is today. There was no such thing as Cameroon as Cameroon is today. White people, by coming to Africa, they say, okay, let's divide Africa into small parts so we don't have to fight each other. Let's respect boundaries. They created boundaries. There was no boundaries between Africans. That's why today you see Maasai people from Kenya to Tanzania. They cross whenever they like. They need no passport, no ID. They just cross. So if you ask a Maasai today, where are you from? He doesn't need to tell you where he's. The land belongs to them. So a big chunk of Kenya and a big chunk of what you call Tanzania today belongs to the Maasai. Anyway, let's follow up. So the idea is to get men to be circumcised. Why do you need circumcision? Technically, circumcision, on Western term, circumcision will reduce HIV by 60%. Yeah, 60%, fellas. Just removing that skin You get 60% less chance of getting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Actually, I heard that the government was encouraging it because it minimizes some diseases such as AIDS.
And also statistics show you that many places where people are not circumcised are the places where you see the most HIV in Africa. Yeah. So it's not about countries, it's about tribes. You see this tribe, the Bukusu tribe that you found also in Uganda, they are called differently in Uganda. They have the least HIV rates compared to many other tribes because they go through circumcision. Yeah, it's obligatory. You have to go through it to be a man. And I know many places do it. In West Africa, Guinea, they do it. I know Osas from South Africa also go through circumcision, which is very honorable for them. It shows manhood. If you're not circumcised to an Osa man, you're probably not man enough. Yeah, he's not going to talk to you this way because you're not circumcised. And chances are women will not respect you either. What are you going to tell me? You're not even circumcised. Yeah. So it's a sense of pride for them. They go up the mountain. They get preached by seniors and more experienced men. They get taught on how to be a man and how to, many of those things. But the Ugandans have opened the doors for you Americans. If you, you're from the Caribbean, wherever you are from, or even from Africa, you've never been circumcised properly. Some of you, maybe it's time to go. They don't do it when you're 2 years old or they don't do it when you're a baby. You need to be conscious. You need to be grown. And whatever they did to the hospital to you probably is not good enough. So Uganda has opened the door for you to go get circumcised. There's been proof by Swedish government studies done with Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, prove that circumcision plays a major role in somebody's cerebral capacities. So your brain capacities have a lot to do. Emphatic. I'm going to find that study and perhaps place a link below the video so you can look at it. So circumcision can make you smarter or not. In this situation, you can just imagine if you get circumcised and you flinch, that's like a disgrace to the family. They're going to throw you out and refuse to talk to you anymore. It's a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure.
At least to boil the knife for at least not less than 20 minutes. Direct is when you begin the surgery. And then later, after cutting, is when you insert some insecticide like spirit to clean the germs.
So what happens generally is on the day of the circumcision, the young boy will visit his uncle. He goes to his uncle's house. The uncle will probably slaughter a cow. And after slaughtering a cow, you'll give him a piece of a skin that he's going to weigh on top of him. That's like a permission that you are permitted to go and be a man. You have my blessing. And before he goes, the uncle will probably slap his cheeks, say, go get it. And the youth is served his last meal before he gets circumcised, while the uncle claps. Say, it's time, my boy, it's time to go. Now, unfortunately, you get some complications, yes. Obviously, when they use a knife that is not necessarily clean after they do the next circumcision, even though they know these people are not HIV positive, sometimes you get issues, or sometimes even if the knife was clean, you have a big wound that you need to take care of. With not enough training, that can get infected. That's like you've lost everything. Like, what are you going to do with it now? You're circumcised, but you won't be able to use it. You won't be able to enjoy it. Was it worth the circumcision? That's an interesting question. So yes, it is true. Evidence suggests that male circumcision reduces the risk of heterosexual acquired HIV infection in men by 60%, according to WHO. And WHO doesn't necessarily believe in traditional stuff. Yes, fellas, circumcision means everything to some cultures in Africa. Your manhood depends on whether you're circumcised or not. You can go to a space where there are many men talking and you want to bring your opinion. They will say, no, we don't want to listen to you. Who are you? You're not even a man. You're not circumcised. And yeah, they will dismiss you. Bye-bye. You have nothing to say here. You're not a man.
In Bugis, if you are circumcised, people don't minimize you as those ones who are not circumcised. People tend to respect you.
Like in some places, they will say you must have land, you must buy land before you become a man. If you have no lands, nobody's going to listen to you. And in some cultures where men get circumcised, if you're a man from a different culture, you're not circumcised, she will never respect you. Yeah, she may pretend to respect you for a little bit, but as soon as you have issues, she'll remind you, my brother, you're not circumcised, don't talk to me. And it's very difficult. I mean, hygienically, well, I'm not a woman, but I can imagine it's not necessarily very clean to have it not necessarily. Or at least if you are an extremely clean person, it must require a lot of energy, a lot of work to get it together. And for the health benefits, for the cultural benefits. Would you consider going to Uganda? Okay, because I know it's very difficult for some people. Uganda has opened the door. Whether you belong to the tribe or not, you can come as a black man, go get circumcised. It's going to probably help you in terms of manhood and also helps you in terms of thinking, cerebral, brain, science. Science say if you get circumcised, you're probably going to be smarter. It's crazy. I never heard of that, but it's crazy. When you do research, you find things that are very interesting. If you get circumcised, you become smarter, more tolerant to other people, more understanding. And intelligent people generally are more understanding, more tolerant. They see options. They're not closed into a box of thinking. They expand their thinking. Let me know how you feel about this. Does circumcision make you a man? Would you consider take your thing that's been cut by a white doctor back to the bush to get cut once more? I think this makes me think of Stoicism. Stoicism is a science of being strong, going through pain and hardships without flinching. I think that defines a man as well, at many levels. I know the definition of man has changed very, very much today. I think you must be soft, kind, small. When people provoke you, you must shut up and say nothing. I don't believe that. I believe a man must be somebody that's ruthless, vicious, but with the level of calmness, respect and humbleness. Men must be ruthless, must be able to destroy completely. If somebody dares you, somebody touches your wife, somebody touches your mom, somebody disrespects somebody important to you. You have the weapons, you have the ability, but you're calm. You don't show it to everybody. You don't intimidate people, you don't push them around. And you need to be stoic for that. Stoicism is the ability to, sometimes during winter, not wear your jacket. Be cold. It's okay to be cold. It's not going to kill you. You see many men, they go, oh, it's cold. No, that's where it starts. Stoicism is a man going in the kitchen, cooking his own food or family's food and getting burnt by the stove or whatever. Or what you call it in Africa, we have these other ways of cooking. We can use wood. We can use many things to cook. You get burned sometimes. It's okay to be burned. You're not going to die. Stoicism is sometimes you having a headache and not having to rush to hospital or having to rush to take medication and allowing your body to fight whatever it is. That's stoicism. It's good for you. There are certain places in Africa, you get bit by mosquitoes all the time. Your body gets used to it. I'm one of those people. But mosquitoes will give you malaria. And malaria is #1 killer in Africa. I've had malaria at least 54, 55 times in my life. I'm here. And I remember one time I was with Europeans. I'm like, I think I got malaria. They're like, what? You got malaria? Let's go. I'm like, no, it's okay. Relax. I'll be fine. I just need to sit, not on the sun, but ground. Eat something, real food. I'm not talking about those concentrated fake stuff. Real food, sun, vitamin D, I will be fine. And yes, the very next day I'll be fine. Why? Because my body is used to it. My immune system is strong. Take them to certain areas of Uganda or Congo, they're probably going to die. Many people believe during that time, you remember that time where we were all like this? One of the reasons why many Africans did not fall on the ground like they predicted is because a lot of Africans, in spite of the climate, have a very strong immune system based on Africa is known as not a very clean and not a very nice continent, right? Disease-ridden and stuff. So the DNA structure and our defense mechanism is far ahead of many people, somebody from Scandinavia or whatever. They have some advantages because they can process milk and dairy easier than we can, but we have advantages in some other areas. You have to be stoic as a man. And being a man is standing in front of the crowd, having your thing sliced in two while you don't flinch, it's another level of stoicism. A stoic man will never look at you, disgrace his family while he's standing. You can see some African countries here, you cannot walk 10 meters without somebody asking you for something. Please give me. Why? Look at some African countries. If you see a Muzungu passing in Africa, people are always asking, why? Why people always begging? And that is the reputation you've sent of Africa. That's the message you've sent out throughout the world, that Africans are beggars. Why do you beg? Stoicism. Addition to the fact that we can be stronger, and we talked about the circumcision because it's a level of stoicism, of strength, mental strength. We need to reacquire that. If we want to be people that are respected, that are considered, we need to reacquire that.